I just need him to say, I love you. That's all I can say.
She is not sexy at all. If I'm not comfortable, I will leave her. Listen to the chilling echo of those words. A sudden dead silence cuts through the explosive, chaotic argument inside that claustrophobic U-Haul truck. TLC wants you to sit back and laugh at Debbie's long nightgowns, to mock her delusional fantasies of a late-in-life fairy tale romance. But what you are actually watching is a dark, meticulously calculated immigration fraud. You are witnessing a fake actor weaponizing a vulnerable woman's desperation as a free ticket to Hollywood. Just look at the metadata breakdown of Mido's Instagram account, 600,000 followers. It looks impressive until you realize almost every single one of them is an AI-generated bot, birthed by a server on the exact same day. Now, take that fabricated digital mirage and compare it to reality. A leaked marriage certificate proving they secretly tied the knot in December 2025, despite him looking visibly repulsed by her mere presence on television. The evidence is mounting, and the truth is far darker than reality television wants to admit. If you realized exactly why Mido threw a massive tantrum the moment he discovered he was being dragged to a Louisiana swamp instead of the glamorous streets of Los Angeles, then press the like button, subscribe to the channel right now, and let's expose this fake movie star together. Today, we stop feeling sorry for Debbie's bizarre origin story. Today, we start tracking the strategy. I am ripping off the rose-tinted reality TV glasses to expose the exact blueprint Mido is executing perfectly right in front of our eyes. This is not a tragic romance. It is a clinical extraction of resources. We are looking at a masterclass in what can only be described as predatory proximity. Think back to the very beginning of their relationship. The narrative we were sold was a sweeping international romance, but their origin was never romantic. It was deeply alarming. Mido was her tour guide, a man hired for a service, who intentionally crossed professional boundaries by forcing a kiss on a vulnerable tourist. Debby, blinded by loneliness, mistook that predatory move for true love. Let us be absolutely clear. Mido did not fall in love with Debby. He fell in love with her blue passport. He saw a woman desperate enough to believe his lies, and he immediately began building the scaffolding for his American invasion. The power dynamics at play here are completely twisted, an intricate game of psychological warfare. Mido strategically uses his religion as an impenetrable shield, a convenient excuse to maintain severe physical distance from the woman he claims to love. Yet, simultaneously, he ruthlessly hoards the emotional power, weaponizing his confessionals to openly mock Debbie's physical appearance and humiliate her before millions of viewers. He tears her down to keep her desperate, ensuring she constantly craves the validation he refuses to give. But Debby holds one critical trump card that Mido completely underestimated: geographical power. Mido had his eyes firmly fixed on the Los Angeles Delusion. He envisioned himself stepping off the plane directly onto a Hollywood red carpet, funded entirely by his new American wife. Instead, Debby trapped him in the suffocating, unglamorous reality of Louisiana. The sheer panic in his eyes inside that U-Haul truck wasn't just frustration. It was the horrifying realization that his grand Hollywood illusion was crashing into the immovable wall of a Louisiana swamp. He is a man who realized too late that his stepping stone is anchored in the mud, far away from the casting couches and flashing cameras he felt entitled to. This collision of delusions is exactly where the trap snaps shut. Mido is now improvising, scrambling to regain control of a narrative that is slipping through his fingers. He cannot simply walk away. He needs the legal documentation that only she can provide. So, he adapts. He pivots from playing the charming, misunderstood foreigner to a much darker, far more calculating role. The mask is slipping, revealing the cold, mechanical precision of a man who views this marriage not as a union, but as a hostile corporate takeover. He is carefully navigating the treacherous waters of his own scam, testing exactly how far he can push Debby before she breaks, ensuring he extracts maximum value, status, money, and a foothold in America before discarding her entirely. But why would the network promote this highly toxic, deeply disturbing dynamic? Welcome to the corporate trap. The network knows exactly what they are doing. Delusional characters are absolute ratings gold. We saw the exact same exploitation with the original Debby and Usama, the older, romanticizing American woman blinded by a significantly younger foreign man who offers nothing but empty poetry and thinly veiled contempt. The cameras are deliberately highlighting Mido's sudden bursts of aggression, the dramatic shouting matches, and the sheer absurdity of his demands. But what they are carefully hiding in the edit is the systematic, legal scam unfolding in plain sight. They are framing this as a disastrous culture clash, when, in reality, it is a masterfully executed, predatory extraction. Let us look closely at that horrifying U-Haul truck sequence again. When Mido threw the phone at Debby in a fit of rage, that was not just a spontaneous temper tantrum from a frustrated fiancé. It was a calculated setup. Watch his eyes. Watch the way he immediately tries to manipulate the narrative, attempting to twist the chaotic moment to make it look as though Debby was the primary aggressor. This is not a standard reality television argument. This is the laying down of a legal foundation. He is actively baiting her, pushing her toward a psychological breaking point on camera, because he knows the immigration loopholes far better than she ever will. If this doomed marriage collapses, and he is already guaranteeing that it will, he is meticulously building the groundwork for a domestic violence claim. By positioning himself as the abused spouse, he creates an airtight legal loophole to remain in the United States without his American sponsor. It is the exact same blueprint we witnessed with Muhammad in Season 9, weaponizing the very laws designed to protect actual victims of abuse. Mido is orchestrating a flawless insurance policy, ensuring that even if Debby kicks him out of that swamp, he gets to keep the American dream she financed. And speaking of that dream, we must completely dismantle the revisionist history he has fed to her and the entire viewing audience. Mido aggressively parades himself as a famous Egyptian movie star, a man of profound artistic importance who has sacrificed a glittering, high-profile career to move to rural America. It is a spectacular, audacious lie. Strip away the arrogance, and what is exactly left? Nothing. There are no actual acting credits. There is no legitimate portfolio. There are no scenes of him captivating audiences in Cairo. His entire artistic identity is a phantom, a fabricated backstory designed solely to justify his absolute refusal to get a normal, working-class job once he arrives in the United States. He has absolutely no intention of working. His master plan is to arrive in America, declare himself an undiscovered star, and force Debby to bleed her bank accounts dry funding professional headshots, acting classes, and endless, expensive trips to Los Angeles. He is treating her life savings like a limitless production budget for a movie that does not exist. This brings us to the core behavioral structure defining their entire dynamic. This is the ultimate stepping stone marriage. In this cold, parasitic ecosystem, Debby is not a wife. She is merely a host. She is the biological, legal, and financial vessel required for him to cross the border and legally survive the bureaucratic nightmare of U.S. immigration. Every forced smile, every hollow, dead-eyed declaration of love, every agonizing day spent enduring the oppressive Louisiana heat is just Mido biding his time. He is mentally crossing off the days on a calendar, waiting for that golden, life-altering legal milestone, the adjustment of status, the temporary green card. The moment that piece of plastic arrives in his mail, the final phase of his extraction will begin. He will no longer need the host organism. He is not building a life with her. He is using her life to build his own escape hatch. It is a ladder constructed entirely out of her shattered expectations, her desperate loneliness, and her emptied retirement funds, all leading him toward a Hollywood mirage that will inevitably devour them both. Consider the terrifying archetype we are exactly dealing with here. I am issuing a stark warning to anyone watching this psychological horror unfold. Mido is not a unique anomaly. He is an upgraded, weaponized version of a very familiar parasite. He is the ghost of Muhammad and the shadow of Usama, engineered entirely for the modern social media age. While his predecessors settled for mere green cards and modest American escapes, Mido's hunger is infinitely more malignant. He is intoxicated by the illusion of fame, desperate for the fake glamour of flashing paparazzi cameras, designer labels, and VIP velvet ropes. To achieve that hollow, plastic dream, he will consume absolutely everything in his path. He will systematically strip Debby of her dignity, drain her bank accounts until there is nothing left but dust, and entirely dismantle her mental health. He views her absolute destruction not as a tragedy, but as the acceptable collateral damage required to fund his imaginary stardom. The cruelty is not a byproduct of his ambition, it is the engine driving it. He does not see a human being when he looks across the dinner table. He sees a walking ATM, a disposable stepping stone wrapped in immigration paperwork. He has studied the mistakes of those who came before him on this network, ensuring his manipulation is coded in just enough plausible deniability to keep the television executives happy and the audience violently divided. Which brings us to the burning, unresolved question that exposes the absolute darkest layer of this entire operation. If Mido openly smirks while watching Debby cry, if he coldly stares into the camera lenses and confidently declares to the world that he will leave her if he is not comfortable, why on earth did he aggressively push for an immediate, secret wedding? Why rush to the altar with a woman whose physical touch visibly repulses him? The answer lies in the terrifying precision of his timeline. That leaked December 2025 marriage certificate is not a symbol of impatient love. It is the definitive closing of a steel trap. He knew that the longer they waited, the higher the chance that the suffocating reality of her life would break his resolve, or worse, that she would finally wake up and see right through his sociopathic facade. He rushed the vows because that explosive U-Haul argument was a massive wake-up call to his own vulnerability. The sheer panic you saw in his eyes was the raw fear of his golden goose dying before it laid the egg. He needed the legal binding of matrimony locked into a government database before the illusion completely evaporated, securing his untouchable legal anchor to the United States before Debby could come to her senses and change the locks. But there is a fatal flaw in his master plan, a geographical nightmare he cannot charm or bully his way out of. He might have the ring firmly on his finger right now. He might have the legal paperwork securely filed, but just wait until the crushing reality of his situation truly sets in. Wait until he steps out into the sweltering, unforgiving humidity of the Deep South and realizes the astronomical distance between a stagnant Louisiana swamp and a glittering Hollywood casting couch. That distance is not just measured in thousands of miles. It is measured in a currency of power, youth, and industry influence that Debby's modest paycheck can never, ever cover. He is a predator who successfully hunted his prey, only to realize he dragged his kill into a rural cage he cannot escape. He is chained to a woman he despises, slowly realizing that the free ticket he thought he scammed only grants him access to the absolute middle of nowhere. The collision between his sky-high narcissism and his grim, swamp-water reality is going to trigger a psychological explosion unlike anything this network has ever broadcast. And just when you think you have seen the absolute bottom of his deception, a new trapdoor opens on the floor. I have just gotten my hands on a newly leaked, fully translated Egyptian forum post, buried deep in the internet, that meticulously exposes exactly what Mido's alleged acting career in Egypt actually looked like. What this hidden document reveals does not just damage his reality television storyline, it absolutely destroys it. It incinerates every single lie he has told Debby, the producers, and the cameras since the very moment he appeared on our screens. I am in the process of forensically verifying these screenshots right now, cross-referencing the metadata and translating the final damning paragraphs. The truth is coming, and it is going to tear his entire fabricated universe down to the studs. You do not want to miss what is about to be unleashed. Make sure you hit the bell icon right now to turn on notifications for the next episode. Press the like button and subscribe to the channel as we prepare to drop the final nail in the coffin of Mido's Hollywood mirage.